It's not often we cover literature here on Traumathon. Most of the times that we do, we sort of just talk more about the media spawned by it or the illustrations in the book than the actual content itself. This time, we're talking about almost everything involving the Anarchist Cookbook, which, in my opinion and in many others, is possibly the stupidest piece of literature out there. And yet, people gobbled it up and treated it as if it were gospel and like the most dangerous thing ever. That's not to say that it's not dangerous, it's just really stupid. Now, what is the Anarchist Cookbook? Well, it's essentially a little old recipe made by a young teenage punk by the name of William Powell, who created it to fight against the man, and fascism and all that other punk rock shit that dumbass teens don't really know much about. Though, that's not to dismiss the symbolic nature of what this book stands for, especially at the time that it was made. It was made around the height of the Vietnam War, back when the tension between Americans and their government was at an all-time high. The average nuclear family went from trusting their politicians and obeying their president to just outright questioning their rights and wondering why they do what they do. It was right after the Civil Rights Movement, and during then, the new hippie movement, which stood for peace and love, and doing whatever the fuck you want and not letting the man, i.e. the government, dictate what you do as a citizen of the earth. This era in American history was called the counterculture era. And with this came the rise of anarchy, and more anarchist-adjacent ideologies. And so came the Anarchist Cookbook, a direct response to the incompetence of the American government at the time, made by the aforementioned plucky teen that has all your favorite kinds of recipes like how to make TNT, instructions on how to make LSD, how to sabotage a railroad, how to make traps. What kind of traps? I think all of them actually. Book traps, door traps, handle traps, loose floorboard traps, pipe traps, whistle traps, ballpoint pen traps, pressure release. Fuck it, you get it. Ooh, fun. How to make a Molotov cocktail and a grenade? Hey, it's a bit of a sort of his and her kind of date night idea, huh? Double trouble on the mayhem, baby. How to grow marijuana. How to make your own guns. Pipe traps, car traps, more traps? What is with this shit? What is a lamp trap? Guerrilla training, electronic bugging devices, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. This whole thing was designed with pretty much assholes in mind, and assholes there sure were. This book is directly linked to several murderers and terrorists alike. It's kind of crazy just how far this traveled. And so was it any surprise that this book got banned in many countries and is considered highly illegal? Well, actually, that country thing is not totally true, it's just Australia. But anyways, it's really no wonder that it's just kind of super illegal in some places, but at the same time, if you want to copy yourself, these books are still available, and pretty easily available too. It's not like you gotta go to an underground salesman or anything like that. It's pretty much everywhere. Barnes & Nobles, the Amazon, anybody can buy it there. It's a PDF too. A PDF you can easily just find just by Googling it up. It's really not that hard to find. And honestly, Amazon, if you just want to buy it, yeah, you can go for it. That's super anarchist, right? Just buying shit on Amazon. Hey man, power to the people and all that and whatever. Anyways, I don't condone actually looking up the PDF and having it for free, but hey, that is, I guess that's true to the book, the rad anarchist way to get some free material, dog. But before we really hunker down and just start reading this book in all its glory and start chucking TNT at our neighbors and junk, there are some interesting ironies you should probably learn first. First off, the writer of this book went from straight up punk anarchist to born again Christian in literally 5 years. What a turnaround, am I right? And immediately after that, he tried his best to backpedal away from the book and his involvement with it entirely, even trying to get the publisher Barricade Books to just stop publishing it. Thing is, by this point, the book had already sold 2 million copies, and that means lots of money. And that also means not giving a fuck about what some punk kid has to say with his widow feelings about this being wrong or morally damaging to the American people. Aw, well yeah, you can be an anarchist all day long. That don't mean you're impervious to the laws of copyright, motherfucker. Gotta love America. Now, give some credit to William Powell. This book is pretty dangerous, and he has gone out of his way to, try to take it down, and he's really not that bad of a person at all. I truly don't want to paint Mr. Powell as being some lame dude wanting to get rid of this book. He had legitimate gripes and worries for people who read the book, and though it might be tied to his religion, I don't blame him for wanting to get rid of it. Let's actually get into the meat of this book. First and foremost, this book did not literally kill over 150 people, as the title title suggests. I mean, like, nobody went around and started assaulting people with this book and murdering them with it. I mean, shit, I don't even think it's that heavy to really kill a small rodent, I think. However, it is worth noting that this book has been linked to several kinds of malefactors, ranging from serial killers to mass shooters, even terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Many have linked their involvement to their crimes to this one book, and though it never specifically has been targeted as their main cause or the main reason why they went out to do the atrocities that they did, it has been at least mentioned to be in their possession. Of course, does this mean this book is actually dangerous? Does it have power to cause mass terrorism? Well, no, obviously not. That's about as stupid as blaming Doom or Call of Duty with mass shootings. The fact of the matter is, this book is a failure of information. It doesn't do anything at all that any experts or amateurs alike can claim to be even potentially dangerous. The research for this book was completed in 4 months in a local library. Picture that. 4 fucking months, written by an angsty teen in his local suburban area. Like, he's not going to get government secrets or actual tips and tricks on how to blow up people. This isn't expert advice for shit. And quite frankly, a lot of this is just made up or incorrect, possibly outdated, or just bad advice in general. And yet people still buy this book for whatever reason. It could be the novelty of having a quirky little book that has potentially dangerous ingredients in it. Maybe some people really are curious. Or let's just get straight to it. Some people are just really genuinely stupid and think they can really make illegal drugs with this. But that didn't stop anyone from making their own epic, betterer version of the Anarchist Cookbook, with this book unofficially spawning several sequels and spin-offs. Yes, seriously, people wrote their own version of the cookbook, most famously the Anarchist Cookbook 4. What happened to 2 and 3? They don't exist. Or maybe it's pronounced the Anarchist Cookbook IV. I don't know, it's anarchy, and it was found online, easily for anyone to just look up and get. But these don't have anything to do with the original, though in spirit they have many wacky ingredients and instructions that are pretty much borderline illegal. In fact, this whole book is illegal in Australia, as mentioned before, and though many governments have demanded this book to be banned, this book is still largely available to purchase in many places, as stated previously. Though that doesn't stop some courts of laws to convict people who are in possession of this book, such as the case with Ben John, a 21-year-old who was sentenced to jail for possession of a PDF of the book for suspicion of terrorist acts. He was sentenced to 2 years in jail. So, as quote-unquote dangerous as this book is, it's kind of hard to find people who even care about it nowadays. It's more of a quirky little relic that most people slightly remember as being that weird thing some people, especially weirdos, used to read. Or maybe you remember it as the movie. Remember the Anarchist Cookbook movie? That was totally tubular, dude. Let me tell ya, the 40-year-olds who came up with this script for young, hippie, anarchist, edgy teens, man, they really got all the shit down, yo. In the end, the Anarchist Cookbook and its author will remain notorious forever, and sadly, the author himself will see no real redemption as he's passed away in 2016 at the age of 66. And since then, there have still been many people who've purchased it and have made headlines with crimes that they've committed, and the media never fails to mention that one infamous book that they had in possession, that one book that, for many, will remain as the most dangerous book ever written.